Hello everyone. This is the first video in a new series I'm starting for humanitarian missions here in Cambodia. Uh, this doesn't mean that we'll be changing the format of this channel. In between these video series, we'll also be covering everything else about Cambodia and my regular walk and talks. However, as you know, I teach students for free and rely on donations to make that happen. And this is a great way to spread that uh, generosity to other causes as well, such as feeding children that are hungry, taking care of street animals. There's a big need for that here as well. And we're going to be working with a lot of different organizations that do these things. And we're going to try to find a way to continue my free classes and also be able to give back to some of these other humanitarian missions. This video series is dedicated by request to Thomas Walter Kay, who was known as a hero to the homeless. Tom truly cared about the people and their stories and possessed a clever sense of humor. He was known for his warm and outgoing personality, and he was a member of the Holy Redeemer Parish, Burton. Tom enjoyed a career of over 30 years in street ministry. He was a veteran of the War on Mental Illness, and as a member of the Holy Redeemer Parish, Burton, he was involved in several apostolates, including co-founding Lansing Diocesan Citizens for Deacons Without Borders, St. Vincent de Paul Food and Housing Outreach, and most recently, he was a co-host on a weekly Flint vlog about life on the periphery. A supporter of the Flint South End Soup Kitchen, he could be found assisting almost daily, inspecting the quality of food, and of course on every Saturday, which was his favorite day. His life was touched by the Hurley ER group, where he could be found often supervising the conditions and the chicken sandwiches on extremely cold winter days. The message of Thomas Kay that he wanted everybody to remember was, "It is another day in paradise." And I'd like to give a special shout out to the sponsor of this video from Michigan, holyredeemerburton.org, Parishioners Coalition. These are the folks who covered the cost of today's video, and I thank them sincerely. If you want to get involved in humanitarian missions here in Cambodia, including what I do with education, what other people are doing with feeding the needy, other people are doing with street animals, you can go to my PayPal and donate. You can join my Patreon. And if you don't want to do either of those things, go to buymeacoffee.com/DDC. There's no sign up required, and you can donate through there. All the money will be used for the purposes I just talked about. Now let's get on with the video. What's up, guys? If you couldn't tell by the title of this video or the introduction, this is our first effort in the humanitarian series. It is going to be put on a separate playlist so people can watch it whenever and watch them in order if they want. The focus is going to be mainly on kids, especially hungry ones. Now, there are several levels, I guess you could say, of how this issue presents itself here. Level one, you have the kids that beg for money, generally at night, as a job. It's more or less a job. They have handlers, and they don't actually receive the money that is given to them. The second group are those who just have nowhere to go. They're homeless, they live underneath the bridges, they sleep on benches. And they might be involved in things like a petty crime. They might sniff glue. They might have to steal from time to time in order to survive. And then the third are those that have homes, they have families. But, especially now during this crisis, businesses have been going under, and perhaps someone who is just able to support their family normally is now being forced to shut down their business and have very little resources for help to go to. Now, you'll have people that say, don't give to the kids that beg at night because it's going to adults. You might hear some people that say, don't give to the kids that live down by the bridge because they're going to buy drugs. And there might be people who say, well, giving money doesn't help at all. You're not teaching them how to do anything. You're just giving them a handout. While all three of those points may be valid, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say this. It doesn't matter to me how the problem presents itself. Whether it's straight up begging, whether it's seeing people in the periphery of everyday life that are struggling, or whether people who are doing the best they can not to go under and provide for their family. My goal here is not to judge and not to determine who should get fed and who shouldn't based on their circumstances. And there's a lot of times I think people, you read discussions, people understand the poverty here, and they come over and they want to know, how do I start something that can help these kids, and how do I know I'm helping the right ones? And I would say this: just jump in and start doing something. It doesn't matter what, anything. If you see a kid that's hungry, buy him something to eat. You don't have to give them money. If they won't accept the food, chances are they don't need the food, or are not allowed to take the food in some cases. That's just a fact. But if you see a hungry kid anywhere and you just start buying them something to drink and eat, then you've done more than a lot of these people who are still organizing things from a year ago and still haven't decided on a course of action. Their intentions are good, and I will support them, but the grassroots level of help is probably the best we can do for these kids. So what I'm saying is, I'm just jumping in with both feet. I don't know if it's going to work out. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but right now we're going to focus on feeding hungry, needy people, especially the kids, in and around the more poverty-stricken parts of the city. I guess you learn by doing. Like I said, there are people back home in America who are interested in humanitarian missions like this. And this is, of course, going together with the free education. There's nothing that says you can't teach a child while they have a bowl of rice or a bowl of noodles or something like that. As a matter of fact, they'll probably learn more because that's one less thing they have to worry about, is being hungry. But in the next videos coming up, you're going to see some of those forgotten ones, I guess you could say, of Cambodia. The ones you might not notice, the ones just out of reach. And we're actually going to be going in, buying them things to eat, and handing them out. Now keep in mind, I said this in my exclusive video I sent out to my supporters. This isn't to toot my own horn. You're not going to see me with a smile on my face asking people to give me a pat on the back for doing the right thing. Because I think no matter your political views or your religious inclinations, I think the one thing we can agree on is that if you see a hungry child, we should feed that child. That just makes the most sense to me. And I'm sure to always give credit where credit is due. So of course they will be aware that it's because of your donations that this food is available, because I don't make enough right now to, I make enough to barely keep myself above water. I still owe my landlord, and I still want to move to a cheaper apartment, and I still have to eat, me and saying lie. So yes, it will be because of your generosity that we can make this happen. And for the next few videos, you're going to see some of these situations they live in. And not for exploitative purposes. Not to get a knee-jerk reaction out of anyone. But just to show you the reality of a city that you might not see in other videos all the time. Because people watch videos, they want to feel happy about it, they want to feel good, and that's fine, that's great. I show you most of the good side of the city and all the awesome things that are here. But there is another side that you should be made aware of. And I can't do it by myself, obviously. But I think together we can start making a difference. One little snack at a time, one little drink at a time, one meal at a time. And this is something I like to do as often as I can. And of course, let you guys know what's going on. So this was just the introductory video to let you guys know what the series is going to be about. I will, of course, be putting up more of my regular walk and talk content. I'll still be doing my list of the 5s. But this is an important cause, and the first of many. Hopefully we can start making little changes on the things we see in town that we can do something about, rather than just sit and complain about the things that we can't do anything about. And giving a meal to a homeless kid, or a poor kid, or just a hungry kid, well, that's something we can all do something about. But that's the reality of the situation for many, many people. And be sure to check out all my links down below if you want to help and donate. Like I said, the money is going to be used for that purpose. All my links are down below. I have PayPal. You can join my Patreon, or go to buymeacoffee.com/DDC. You don't have to sign up. No commitment. Doing any of those things, you'll receive my exclusive videos. You'll receive books and much, much more. And you'll be kept up to date on the people that your donations are help feeding and help educating. Alright, be sure to look forward to the next video. Like I said, we're going to meet some of these kids. We're going to see some of the conditions they live in, and give you an idea of the severity of some of their situations. All right, I will talk to you guys in the next one. Here we have some kids down by the river fishing. Trying to get something to eat for the day. And as you can see there, somebody's making a little house, a tent area out of the trees by the river. You got all their possessions, hammocks for beds. This is just the way some people have to do it.